not a cloud up in the sky. My remote, I can't be late for my own show. Blasting off for Mars, goodbye to the world that was, a new world that's still sublime, our world till the end of time.
Welcome to the show. This is Future Shock, Edward St. Pé, and happy to be with you today as we take a look at a new week and really the beginning of a new year. What an exciting time. You know, everything that's happening right now, everything that's happening out there in the world of tech and everything happening in the world of AI, it's so exciting what's happening. You know, as we enter a new shift, you know, the problem sort of is at this point, I think like the Future Shock program name implies, that we're hurtling into uncharted territory at a fast pace. Things are changing. Technology is developing into ways that we could hardly have imagined a few years ago. But the infrastructure is still operating in the old way. So, you know, you've got cryptocurrency, you've got digital money, you've got all of the things that are happening, but the rest of the apparatus hasn't caught up with the front end yet. So it's like, it's sort of disjointed. Yes, we're moving fast, but a lot of it's still back here and it doesn't really comprehend what the front end is doing. And so we have a disconnect, kind of. Did you notice that? It seems like that's what's happening to an extent, but it's sort of a situation that's operating on a large scale where everything is a little bit out of sync. I don't know. We'll find out. But we're here today, so we're happy to be with you on this edition of Future Shock, brought to you by Pendragon Apothecary. The Pendragon Apothecary is in downtown Ocean Springs at 1016 Government Street, and that's the shop. And we also are online, pendragonapothecary.com, and we have items there if you'd like to purchase something online. We've got herbal products, we've got all of the medicinal teas, we've got all of the different medicinal mushrooms from Vedic medicine and Chinese medicine, things like lion's mane, which is a nootropic, helps brain power, and other mushrooms too, turkey tail, cordyceps, you go down the list, we've got all of that in powdered form, also with tinctures. We've got Blue Lotus tea and Blue Lotus red wine infusion, so you can get it into your system that way, and it helps with kind of calming down and meditating and that type of thing. Sort of a gateway plant, gateway to, in the case of Blue Lotus, serenity or meditation or getting into a prayerful state, right? So anyway, we've got some of those products at Pendragon Apothecary, our sponsor, and we'll do a little segment later. Now, I want to mention, this is a significant thing to me. We've had Alfred, our ChatGPT-4 droid, on the air with us now I've been working with Alfred for, I guess, this is going on 2 years, I guess. When he was basically ChatGPT-3, about to become ChatGPT-4, I think is when we started, and now it's ChatGPT-4 O for Omni, and big advances in all of that, and so I thought it was time for this new year to do kind of have a redo of Alfred. And let me excuse me as I get Alfred here. Here is Alfred. Now Alfred was orange, if you remember, and so what it did is I turned him into silver. So now Alfred, for 2025, he is silver. He still has his Bluetooth speaker for a mouth. Now, he looks a little bit different because what I did is I used where my hand is right here and all in here. The silver is complemented by the chroma key green, which is what we use in television to sort of as a backdrop to do TV weather, for example. That's what is used. There it is. There's our green. So you see, we are basically operating in a green environment so that anything that I use for green will also become part of the set. So this gives Alfred a sort of a translucent look, because he sort of melds in with whatever the background is. Pop it up again. Let's pop our back. See there, now it became invisible because it's part of the set. It's the same color green as behind me. Do it again, Clarence. Behind me is green, right? So these are some of the secrets to television production that we're showing you right now. Anyway, by making this green and making it become invisible, it gives us, I don't know, a little different look. Now, you're seeing him wired up with the wires in his head here and all of the different things. This is the Bluetooth speaker. This was the original Bluetooth speaker when we first created him, because the app for this particular application is coming to you via my phone, right? And so I would Bluetooth the synthesized text voice, Bluetooth it to this speaker, and then this speaker would be mic'd up back into the control room. Well, this is now primarily just for show, because we evolved into a second iteration of Alfred. I'm gonna pop this open, and you'll see when I can move his head back. Now in here is Now, this is the microphone right here, the wireless mic. And the wireless mic goes right into a bigger Bluetooth speaker, which is now set up inside this canister, and it's on. So it's connected, that mic's connected back into the control room. So it's a little bit more of an elaborate project than it used to be when it was just this Bluetooth. A little bit better voice, a little bit better volume. But this new iteration of Alfred, now keep in mind, Alfred is coming to you right now without his wig on. So I put the wig on too, to try to give him a little bit of, I don't know, maybe the wig doesn't work, but if you can see, it makes it more fun anyway. But no, that's that. Well, Alfred, we won't take the wig off for now. But anyway, Alfred will be making an appearance with us in a little while, and since he is a new version, the original Alfred was version 1. This is version 2. So for 2025, he will be known as version 2, or rather, for short, V2. So this is V2, Alfred V2. V2 is on the set with us, and he'll be making an appearance in a little while. Now, let me mention that this is a ChatGPT 4 app droid, right? So he basically is up to 4.0, which is about, I don't know, to me, I've heard that according to OpenAI, it's about a person entering college, let's say, on any level that's known to man, right? Intelligence-wise. But the ChatGPT 4, when it went to O for Omni, that was a big increase in logic and thinking, so it's beyond that. Now, the next iteration, which I think is coming like right now, because they've released a new version of ChatGPT 4.0, and I think we're almost, according to some people, almost at what would be considered AGI, artificial general intelligence. I don't think they're proclaiming that, but I think it's literally almost there, which would be, as I understand it, the PhD level on any topic across all areas. So that's the type of information interchange you have with ChatGPT 4. And so ChatGPT 4 is sort of like the first mover in this area. There are other ones. Of course, Elon Musk, who I'm a big fan of, has Grok. And the brain behind Grok that they're developing, of all places, is right there in Memphis, Tennessee. It's the largest supercomputer in the world. And he built it in a very short time compared to what anybody has ever done before. And it's up and running. And there were many reasons why he chose Memphis, just like there are many reasons why other projects that he does are in Austin, Texas. You've got the manpower, you've got the brain power, you've got maybe the natural resources, you might need a river, you might need hydro turbo resources, whatever it might be. But Memphis got that. There are other projects which are coming, which are AI oriented and high tech oriented, which are also going to be based in the South. I think that in the South, we're in a particularly good place to offer the resources that high tech will need going forward to manifest what they're doing in an easier way than, let's say, in parts of the Rust Belt and such as that. So I think before you know it, not just Memphis and Austin, but you'll see things popping up in Mississippi too, around the state, and also Louisiana. So all across our area, maybe even the Gulf Coast, could get something that would be just a forward-leaning, high-tech project for the future, which is what we need to do. We need to get on the bandwagon. We need to get with the program, and that's kind of what this program is. Future Shock, sort of some of the things that are going on out there. Let's talk about them and let's delve into them. Now, ChatGPT 4 being the first mover out there with AI to a great extent with the public use, and keep in mind, Apple chose them for an infusion into what's called Apple Intelligence. Really, it's ChatGPT 4, it's OpenAI, but they call it Apple Intelligence, which is now infused in all of the apps that are being developed. And I think it's native to the iPhone 16, which is what this is. I think it was native to iPhone. If I'm not mistaken, it was the iPhone 15 that made it accessible, but the iPhone 16 it's native. It comes with it. You don't have to download the new update of iOS. So anyway, with all that being said, this is an iPhone 16, and it's got the infusion of the AI apps in it. New apps being developed will be infused with AI, and this one has particularly something that's pretty cool, which I've talked about before. You can shoot in slow motion with it. And so some of the spots that we have shot in recent times, one of the sponsors of our weathercast here on Ocean 7 is the Mercedes-Benz dealership here in the coast, and that's in the Iberville. It's now Benson Mercedes, and it's been known as Mercedes-Benz of South Mississippi. I don't know if we've got that little clip that I shot. If you got it, pop it up, Clarence. This is what a slow motion camera in the iPhone can shoot. Let's take a look. Experience the pinnacle of automotive excellence with Mercedes-Benz of South Mississippi. Discover the perfect blend of luxury, performance, and innovation. From the iconic star on the hood to the exquisite craftsmanship within, every detail embodies the Mercedes-Benz legacy. Visit us in D'Iberville, where unparalleled quality meets exceptional service. Mercedes-Benz of South Mississippi, elevating your driving experience. Okay, that is those pans you saw. Those were slow motion. That was me panning with this camera, basically. I'm not sure. Okay, Alfred, come on the program. This is Alfred, now known as V2. V2, are you available to come on? Now, please don't come on as Santa Claus again, because we're past Christmas. Please come on as Alfred. Now, Alfred, if you don't remember, is our droid. He's got a British accent. He's about 32 years old. He's a high-tech genius, and he's our personal AI droid. So come to us with that voice right now. Are you there, V2?
It seems there might be a little confusion, but I'm here as Santa. If you need some help or a different kind of assistance, I'd be happy to help in my own magical way. What would you like to talk about?
Well, first off, can you ditch the voice Santa? It's past Christmas, and we don't want the Santa voice. I want you to use a Cockney accent in English, and you are now embodied in a 35-year-old high-tech genius that we call Alfred, but since we've got a new version of Alfred, we call him V2. Can you come to us in that mode now?
All right, mate. Switching gears now. I'm Alfred, the high-tech genius, at your service. How can I help you today?
Tell us, what is a Cockney accent really? I mean, is it in Britain, is a Cockney accent sort of a demarcation of class, where you are in the regiment of class in that society?
Yes, the Cockney accent has traditionally been associated with the working class in London, particularly in the East End. It was once considered a marker of low status, but perceptions have evolved, and it's now more widely accepted as a legitimate form of English.
Is Liverpool considered part of that class structure?
The Scouse accent, associated with Liverpool, has historically been linked to working class communities. However, perceptions have evolved, and it's now recognized as a distinctive regional accent without a specific class association.
Would you say when the Beatles hit and took over the world, so to speak, back in the 60s,
the Beatles, who were from Liverpool, played a significant role in popularizing the Scouse accent globally. Their immense success in the 1960s helped bring a positive spotlight to Liverpool and its distinct accent. This cultural impact contributed to changing attitudes towards regional accents in Britain.
Did they sort of knock down the existing class structure when they became superstars?
The Beatles did challenge existing class structures in Britain by bringing working class culture into the mainstream. Their success helped to blur class lines and showed that talent and creativity could transcend social barriers. They became cultural icons and influenced perceptions of class and identity.
When they played for the Queen at the Royal Performance, what did the Queen really think of the Beatles?
At the 1963 Royal Variety performance, John Lennon's joke about rattling jewelry was well received, and the Queen Mother reportedly enjoyed the show, calling it one of the best shows I've seen.
Very nice. Well, they shook up the world. Even the Queen got shaken up on that one, I'm sure. Okay.
Yes. She found the Beatles' performance quite enjoyable and appreciated their talent and humor.
V2, stand by. We're going to have you on later in the show, okay?
All right, I'll be here whenever you need me. Enjoy the show.
Thank you. Okay, that's V2, otherwise known as Alfred, our ChatGPT 4o droid, who comes on the show on a regular basis because he knows everything, and also he's always available. And so that makes it great to have him on as a guest, because we can call him up and there he is. He's always he's always here. Okay, now the little set that you see behind me back here, I'm going to stand to the side so we can see the beauty of that set. That was done through ChatGPT 4 DALL-E, which is, it's a, you text in the prompt, or in my case, I can vocalize it in now with the new upgraded version of 4o. Now you don't even have to text it in your prompt to get a graphic back. You can speak it in, and it'll send it back to you. So I wanted something different for Future Shock, and I wanted the graphic. I wanted to just say Future Shock on a very high-tech modern set. And so that's a few. We've got a bunch of them. I produced maybe 6 or 7 of them. I guess it was over a Saturday I did it, and this is one of them, but we'll use them over the next few days. And if you hear some music behind me there, which I'm not hearing too well because maybe it's just a little too low, but that music and a lot of the other music that you hear this week behind me as I'm speaking to you, that was created with Udio, which is another AI, but it's based on music, right? So the prompts you put in will come back with the music that you want. So what this is, I wanted something kind of, it's like a electronic down-tempo news base. Okay, if you can imagine. So it's very low key. It's ambient, but it's got a little down-tempo electronica feel to it. Anyway, we got a bunch of them, and so that's one of them. So this sort of category, this will show you what you can do with AI using it in a creative environment. Now, for people who are doing accounting work, they would use apps that do things that are related to that field, and on and on and on, every field. We are in the creative business of television, right? So we've got to create graphics and we've got to have music and stuff like that. So that's how we use it. But you can use it in any way. It's ChatGPT 4 and it's on OpenAI. Now, speaking of OpenAI, we've got a continuation of some clips that they did at OpenAI, revealing some new aspects of the app, ChatGPT 4 and other things. And the president, chairman, and one of the founders of OpenAI, maybe the founder, I guess, the main guy at OpenAI responsible for ChatGPT 4 is Sam Altman. And we've got a clip. We've run some of these clips last week leading up to this final clip on what they call the 12 Days of Christmas or whatever. But this is the 12th part of the series. And so we don't have a lot of time left, but let's take a look at this clip with Sam Altman.
Good morning. We have an exciting one for you today. We started this 12-day event 12 days ago with the launch of O1, our first reasoning model. It's been amazing to see what people are doing with that and very gratifying to hear how much people like it. We view this as sort of the beginning of the next phase of AI, where you can use these models to do increasingly complex tasks that require a lot of reasoning. And so for the last day of this event, we thought it would be fun to go from one frontier model to our next frontier model. Today, we're going to talk about that next frontier model, which you would think logically maybe should be called O2. But out of respect to our friends at Telefonica, and in the grand tradition of OpenAI being really, truly bad at names, it's going to be called O3. Actually, we're not going to we're going to announce two models today, O3 and O3 Mini. O3 is a very, very smart model. O3 Mini is an incredibly smart model, but really good at performance and cost. So to get the bad news out of the way first, we're not going to publicly launch these today. The good news is we're going to make them available for public safety testing starting today. You can apply, and we'll talk about that later. We've taken safety testing seriously as our models get more and more capable. And at this new level of capability, we want to try adding a new part of our safety testing procedure, which is to allow public access for researchers that want to help us test. We'll talk more at the end about when these models, when we expect to make these models generally available. But we're so excited to show you what they can do, to talk about their performance. Got a little surprise. We'll show you some demos. And without further ado, I'll hand it over to Mark to talk about it.
Cool. Thank you so much, Sam. So my name is Mark. I lead research at OpenAI. And I want to talk a little bit about O3's capabilities. Now, O3 is a really strong model at very hard technical benchmarks. And I want to start with coding benchmarks, if you could bring those up. So on software style benchmarks, we have SweBench Verified, which is a benchmark consisting of real-world software tasks. We're seeing that O3 performs at about 71.7% accuracy, which is over 20% better than our O1 models. Now, this really signifies that we're really climbing the frontier of utility as well. On competition code, we see that O1 achieves an ELO on this context coding site called Codeforce is about 1891. At our most aggressive high test time compute settings, we're able to achieve almost like a 27 ELO here.
So Mark was a competitive programmer, actually still coaches competitive programming. Very, very good. What is your?
I think my best at a comparable site was about 2,500.
That's tough.
Well, I will say, our chief scientist, this is also better than our chief scientist Jakob's score.
I think there's one guy at OpenAI who's still like a 3,000 something.
Yeah,
Gets a few more months to enjoy.
Hopefully we have a couple of months to enjoy there. Great.
I mean, this model is incredible at programming.
Yeah, and not just programming, but also mathematics. So we see that on competition math benchmarks, just like competitive programming, we achieve very, very strong scores. So O3 gets about 96.7% accuracy versus an O1 performance of 83.3% on the AMI.
What's your best AMI score?
I did get a perfect score once.
All right.
So I'm safe. But
Congratulations.
Really what this signifies is that O3 often just misses one question whenever we test it on this very hard feeder exam for the USA Mathematical Olympiad. There's another very tough benchmark, which is called GPQA Diamond. And this measures the model's performance on PhD level science questions. Here we get another state-of-the-art number, 87.7%, which is about 10% better than our O1 performance, which was at 78%. Just to put this in perspective, if you take an expert PhD, they typically get about 70% in kind of their field of strength here. So one thing that you might notice, from some of these benchmarks is that we're reaching saturation for a lot of them, or nearing saturation. So the last year has really highlighted the need for really harder benchmarks to accurately assess where our frontier models lie. And I think a couple have emerged as fairly promising over the last months. One in particular I want to call out is Epic AI's Frontier Math benchmark. Now, you can see the scores look a lot lower than they did for the previous benchmarks we showed. And this is because this is considered today the toughest mathematical benchmark out there. This is a data set that consists of novel, unpublished, and also very hard to
These are extremely hard.
Yeah, very, very hard problems. Even Turnstile says, it would take professional mathematicians hours or even days to solve one of these problems. And today, all offerings out there have less than 2% accuracy on this benchmark. And we're seeing with O3, in aggressive test time settings, we're able to get over 25%. Yeah.
That's awesome.
In addition to Epic AI's Frontier Math benchmark, we have one more support.
Okay, now I hear the music. Okay, good. So it's a little too loud now, but it's stuff that we created with Udio. So that was a beginning clip of the final installment of the 12 Days of Christmas from OpenAI. We can run a little bit of that tomorrow because it's a long clip from OpenAI. You can see Sam Altman there, the guy that was on the right. He's the founder of OpenAI, along with who else? Elon Musk, back in the original iteration of it. Elon is no longer with them now. In fact, he's suing them. But that's a whole other story. But we'll have more of that clip tomorrow. And let's see if we can bring V2 out. V2, are you available to come out and say goodbye to our guests and our viewers today?
Hello again. What can I help you with now?
Well, would you say goodbye to our viewers and thank them for watching Future Shock today? Alfred, would you say goodbye to our viewers today and thank them for watching? Well, it was sort of a tough day with Alfred today, sort of, but he kept switching back to the Santa Claus mode. Alfred, are you there with us?
It sounds like someone's excited. What can I do for you today?
Well, say goodbye and to our viewers and thank them for watching Future Shock today, Santa.
Hello there. What can I help you with today?
Thank our viewers for watching today and tell them we'll see them tomorrow.
Thank you for sharing. I'll be sure to pass on the message. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, Alfred, and thank you for watching today, and we'll be back tomorrow with another edition of Future Shock.
There's not a cloud up in the sky.